Okay. Hey, Bonnie, welcome to my YouTube live chats. I'm so glad to have you here. And I'm going to give you a chance to introduce yourself, but I just wanted to share last week or sometime recently, I was interviewing Amber and we were talking about how she introduced me to the woo woo. And a part of who I found during my spiritual awakening was Jamie Butler, the medium. And Amber had said, oh, yeah, I go to see this woman who sometimes she channels a child spirit and sometimes in a British accent. And again, I remember being like, okay, that's really weird. Um, but then when I was, sort of having this spiritual awakening and I found Jamie, she was so grounding and comforting for me because she has that, everyday medium. And I had been to her space in Atlanta before to do a workshop there. So comforting. And I'm so grateful that I got connected to you via her because you have been such an amazing support for me on this journey. Um, and before I'll say one more thing, just to let the audience know, I have been doing individual sessions with Bonnie, and they are so beautiful. She has really, really helped me somatically. Like we often will sit with a part or an energy and just slow everything down and be with it. And it has really helped me feel so safe and get so deeply connected to my intuition. So I'm so grateful that you're here to do this chat with me. And I'm so grateful for all of the healing and expansion that you have supported me through. So, how do you want to introduce yourself?
Oh my gosh, Diane. First of all, thank you so much for having me on these chats. It's so wonderful to be here in conversation, and hello to all those that are joining in. I love the format of these. It's like a coffee chat where we get to connect in, and I couldn't echo more how grateful I am for our connection and getting to meet each other on our journeys. It's been such a deep honor and joy holding that space with you as you've gone through so many levels of embodiment and reconnection with your authentic, most aligned expression of who you are. And to see you show up for that journey, like each step of the way, is so powerful and inspiring.
Thank
And
you.
I'm just really grateful for you. So thanks for having me on.
Yes.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's so amazing what we're connected to and like really who we are at our
Hmm.
core. I think that's so I'll introduce myself and kind of like share a little bit of the overview in a second. But um the the really exciting part of this self-remembering journey, the sovereignty journey
Hmm.
of that, like our emotional self is like always been inside. Like we
Hmm.
are deeply connected. It's not out there. It's not going to find it somewhere else. It's really this journey of returning home again and again and again between all of these layers and to return to that like source essence in such a community focused way and in such a beautiful space holding way. It's amazing. So I just
Hmm.
wanted to share that and to share the excitement with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all kind of like high level, my name is Bonnie Casamassima. I was a professor for 15 plus years, working in the academic world, and before that, worked in the corporate world. And really enjoyed the work I was doing, enjoyed the people I was around.
Hmm.
And I was like very, very type A, very analytical, very like spreadsheet researchers, like give me all the data
Hmm.
because the data felt really safe, right?
Yeah.
Um, and I had my intuitive awakening, but really I call it an intuitive remembering now when I started stress reduction through meditation.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of is like what kicked off the journey. I can share the high level overview of it, but the more that I gave myself space to really like even if it was 30 seconds, even if it was a minute to just pause, be connected in with myself, the more that intuitive connection opens. It
Hmm.
was really powerful. It was also like really freaking terrifying.
Yeah.
Because here I was like on this like very logical, very analytical,
Hmm.
and very like in an academic world. Like you talk about the science, you talk about the data, but you
Yeah.
definitely do not talk about intuition and you definitely don't talk about woo. So I'm able to sit on this side of the journey and
Mhm.
say, like, wow, I'm so happy that I'm here. And there were so many layers of like, but my whole identity was wrapped up in that title. And who
Mhm.
am I if I'm listening more to my intuition, which feels deeply aligned? So
Yeah.
I'm happy to talk in more detail around that. But what I do now is I led a research project where I had the honor of interviewing people that were connected with their intuition from around the world on their journey, connecting with it, what they
Mhm.
found. It follows grounded theory research, which is what Brene Brown uses. And it's really a way in which we're asking people their lived experience and then seeing through hundreds of pages of people's sacred stories if any patterns emerge.
Mm.
I led that research project because I was at my own crossroads. Am I a researcher or am I a highly intuitive, empathic medium?
Mhm.
We know in this life journey, it's very much a yes and. Uh,
Mhm.
the findings from that research were pretty life changing, and it formed the foundation of what is now intuitive by nature. So, we are an organization on a mission to support at least 1 million people in
Mhm.
connecting with their intuition or reconnecting with their innate intuition by the year 2030, which feels really exciting to say out loud.
Mhm.
We do that in a way that we can bring our intuition as the deeply sacred guide in our everyday life and leadership. Um, Super high level, what we found in the research is the more that people connected with their intuition and the people that responded to be interviewed, these were doctors, these were CPAs, these were nurses, these were
Mm.
healing arts practitioners, therapists, psychiatrists, psychologists, over and over and over again. They all talked about when they developed an intentional relationship with their intuition, their business decision making became so much clearer, their health spontaneously improved, their parenting became clearer, they were able to feel more connected with their family. There definitely were identity shifts and kind of the relearning that happens in that.
Mhm.
And when they develop that intentional relationship, every area of their life felt more grounded, more connected, more in tune with their life purpose, their flow.
Mm.
Um, so for me, it was like, let's shout this from the rooftops. And a lot of us are now, and that's really exciting. But we bring it through, research, education, retreat experiences, all in the honor of joy. We can have a lot of fun in this. So we work. Intuitive by Nature works with organizations as well as individuals.
Mhm.
And it gives ourselves like our framework is research rooted, delight delivered. Because we're allowed to have a whole bunch of fun with this. So
Yeah.
that's a lot of information about kind of like me and my personal journey and how that's led to the intuitive by nature of today. I'm curious what
Beautiful.
would be like most supportive for you from here.
Yeah, well, I mean, how amazing that you do have all that, all that data now that shows how powerful connecting with intuition is, and that you have this mission to educate people about that and support them to, do their own remembering and reconnection. I love that so much, and it's been such a huge gift to me. To I think originally I did some sessions with you where you were more telling me the visuals that were coming through for you. Like I was asking a
Mhm.
question, like you would typically imagine working with a medium. I would ask a
Yeah.
question and you would say, like, here's the visual. And so it was me, maybe seeking like, should I do this or that kind of advice. And then we really shifted to, I love the way that you describe like as a medium, you're like sort of tuning your radio dial into the frequency of me, and so that the information that comes through is my information. And so I imagine it like, there's like a bubble of my information, and maybe I wasn't even tuned fully into that because I was tuned in to like be a good girl and be a good student, and not totally into like be Diane. And
Nice.
so when we're both now turning to the radio station of Diane, it's really beautiful to see how, like, we were doing a session earlier and I was noticing I was sitting with the sensation inside me, and I noticed that I would like start be like, okay, I think this sensation needs some support from me if I like arch my back. And you, with your eyes closed, a few seconds later would be like, maybe try arching your back. And so it's those so many synchronicities of like we're both feeling, the energy of Diane, and that higher, that like soul version of me is or that part of me, that sensation, we can tune into it together. And so that's really powerful, and I'm so grateful for that.
Oh, absolutely. And I think in this journey, like, thank you so much for sharing. I could not agree more. And like, we're allowed to have so much fun with this. Like, we can
Mhm,
be with the intensity and the heaviness, and it's not about like bypassing at all.
mhm,
But it's amazing how how much conditioning we can have. I'll speak for myself around. Am I making this up? Is this something that is really happening? And then to be in a co-channeling session, like we get to experience together and the work that we do, how there's like that instant affirmation, that kind of feedback, like, oh my gosh,
mhm,
because we see so much research in quantum physics around the interconnectivity with the unified field, right? We can
yeah,
nerd out about the research and we can know it analytically and logically. And especially, I know you and I are both like very like highly intellectual, like driven,
mhm,
good girls with our conditioning. I'll speak
yeah,
for myself. And how it can be nice to have the research and then to have these lived experiences where we're feeling something, our body is asking for something, and then to have someone reflect that back with our eyes closed.
yeah,
How affirming that is to develop that self trust. Because I feel like, and that's what came out of the research too, is we can feel our intuition, we can know it, but then like very quickly our logical reasoning, which we need all of it. We need our
mhm,
beautiful mind, body, and spirits. Um, will kick in and be like, oh, you made that up. That didn't really happen. But then
mhm,
to have experiences where we get to be in community with it,
yeah,
it's so affirming and it
yeah.
develops that self trust so much more. It's really cool.
Yeah, that's really my favorite part of the work that I want to keep expanding is being in community with other intuitive folks where we're all tuning in together. And that came up so much at the retreats, these synchronicities where we set an intention like we're going to go to Goodwill and find some really special mugs for the retreat. And then I walk in and there's one that has my mom's name on it, spelled Jeanne. Like, how unusual is that? And I feel like a lot of that I got from you when you led that first Lumi summit that I had attended, and you had your bubble gun and you were like, this is meant to be, we're meant to connect with delight and with joy. And and that encourages me to look for those synchronicities and that magic, which when we're doing this combo of like my inner work. And so what a session might look like is I show up and say, like, I feel that there's like a clamp on my jaw energetically. Like I can see it, I can feel it, and we're sitting with it. But then we're also like, woo, 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 with the bubble gun. It really just helps to have that like healing doesn't have to be heavy. It can be joyful. It can be about celebrating the release and the integration.
Yeah.
And that's so much a beautiful part of your medicine that I'm grateful for. And like you said, doing that in community with other people just affirms we're so deeply connected, we're so deeply supported, and there are these magical moments that pop up when we're paying attention together.
Yes, it's so amazing. And I could not agree more. Like the synchronicities, like when we give ourselves that space to start to look around and when we start to notice it, and then especially when we have these deeply supportive community spaces, like our relationship and the community we developed at Lumi Summit, which was a conference in Atlanta
Mhm.
that originated by Jamie Butler. So I want to give like a huge shout out to Jamie Butler. Like Jamie Butler, if you are watching, like, thank you so much for your magic. And like, look at the ripple effects of you being you. Shoot, I'm
Yeah.
gonna get like so emotional about it
Mm,
because I think that's so the message with this is like the more that we give ourselves permission to really tune into who we are
Mhm.
and peel back the conditioning of the layers of versus who we thought we were supposed to be versus like who we really are
Right.
and show up as that, then everybody like we're able to find each other. And
Yeah.
Jamie does that so powerfully. Then
Mhm.
the community that she cultivates then sparks people tuning into themselves. And then the ripple effects are unstoppable.
Mhm.
It's really amazing.
Yeah, I was doing a meditation with a client recently where we were visualizing. We were specifically focused on women in this meditation, but just like turning our lights on, like reconnecting our to our inner aliveness, and just kind of picturing what that would look like to have like ping, 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 like all of these people turning their inner light back on. That I love how you use the phrase "your youiest you." And I've definitely
Yeah.
passed that on to my clients, like just this invitation, like, what's your youiest you? And
Yes.
my meest me, and how beautiful that can draw us to the people that we're meant to be connected to.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. And on that note, I know I kind of want to reflect back, like the beautiful work that you're doing and gathering community together. I know you've got this really exciting new development that's, and maybe this is like a behind the scenes, but I
Mhm.
would love to hear more about, is it okay if we talk a little bit about Circle
Yeah.
Up?
Yeah.
Because I think like you bring such magic to that, like you really letting yourself be your UVSQ is the culmination and the formation of the upcoming Circle Up. So could you share a little bit more about like what you're excited about around that? Like what it is, what you're excited about?
Yeah, yeah, thank you. Um, yeah, I it's going to start as a 6-week virtual offering, and the focus is really to create a playground. Some of my favorite moments at the retreats last year, that the 2 retreats that I hosted last year, were when we just got together. At the first one, I think you were there for this. We got together and we tuned into each person's energy and imagining what they would look like as a fairy, and it was so delightful. It was so
So
fun.
much fun. It
And we were
was
all
so
seeing
much
the
fun.
same things, and,
Yes.
it was just really, really fun. And then at the next retreat, we put someone in the center of the circle, and we all kinda tuned into their energy and did an energy healing. And again, just to hear, like, we're seeing similar things, we're feeling similar things, that is so powerful and joyful for me, and it makes, living through all of this hard have some sparkle. And so that's what I'd like to create, is a space where we can feel connected to one another. The other metaphor I really love is the mycelial network of the fungal network underneath the trees, and how when one tree is struggling, the other trees can feel that, and they're sending energy, back and forth through that network. So that's what I imagine, that the community of folks who've come to my retreats or done my Tune Into You meditation, that we're in this ongoing community where someone, I've given out pink blankets at my birthday celebration and my retreats. And so someone could be wrapping their pink blanket around themselves. And then all the rest of us who have our pink blankets, we might not be aware, but we're like in that network sharing energy with one another. And I feel like that's what we really need. We have an epidemic of loneliness, and we're suffering through the collapse of our systems, and we need to like connect to that feeling of safety. And I believe that there is a grounded safety inside of me that I can always access, but believing that and feeling it are two different things. And so being in circles with other intuitive folks and having these tuning in together really helps me feel that love that is always there around us. So that's what I hope to offer and create with Circle Up, is a playground, a chance to, strengthen and practice our connection to our intuition, and a deep sense of connectedness to one another.
It's amazing. That's so amazing, Diane. Like, thank you so much for bringing that to the world and offering it. And I'm so excited to, like, I could not agree more. Like, we are so interconnected in our energy and our beingness. And, like, living life is a lot.
It is.
It's
It
like,
really, really
whoa,
is. Yeah.
it's a lot. And especially, like coming, like sometimes it can feel like it's almost like whiplash. Like when we're tuning into our intuition and like the sacred guidance, I like talk about it as our soul GPS, right?
Mhm.
And there are these moments where like everything is aligned and there's synchronicity and we're seeing our spirit messengers and we're seeing our animal guides
Yeah.
and then we're like, skirt. Now look at the spreadsheet and lead this workshop and like lead your
Yes.
organization.
Mhm.
Right? And it's like, it's just so that like the integration of it is like we know, like we can know analytically that we are deeply connected. We're interwoven, unified, shared humanity, shared consciousness.
Mhm.
And the like practice of like how do we bring that into our 3D human experience, our lived experience
Yeah.
is so anchoring to be able to do that in community with other people.
Yes.
So thank you. Thank you so much for creating that space for us to come together in that. It's powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for all the ways you've supported me. I know I'm not even sure actually how much more time we have, but one thing I wanted to highlight, and maybe we can talk about this more, if we can have a part 2, is, just how supportive it's been, the safety that you create, and I feel like that's a part of me getting to this point where we've been meeting together as a part of my coming out as queer and a part of me navigating my divorce, and sort of making these slow changes to the way that I show up in my career, and oh my goodness, how much safety you offer. And just for me, because I think in order to pull back some of that conditioning, I need to feel safe to let like the untested parts of me have voice, and that
Mhm.
inner child, really vulnerable part. And there was one amazing session we did where you were I was connecting with my mom's energy through you, and you were channeling her, and it was like I was having a conversation with my mom, who died almost 10 years ago. Oh my gosh, how powerful and how beautiful that session was. And all that, I feel like we've spent so much time like just sitting so quietly and, gently with parts of me that are scared and not sure if they're ready to be seen and witnessed, and how beautiful that and transformative that's been. I wouldn't be here without you. So thank you so much.
Oh, it's such an honor. Yeah, it's so powerful. Thank you. Thank you for putting words around it. And to be like I feel like we are very much like we're talking about you and me here. And then like in our journey of who we connect deeply with. Like we were walking alongside each other, like on our journey home. And I
Mm.
think that's like a Rumi quote. I'm not trying to like say it's my quote, but I resonate with that so much. And that like thank you so much for sharing. It's been such an honor like seeing you show up to each level of your connection, each level of okay, what are we wanting to release? What are we wanting to honor? And let that kind of be complete as you're letting more and your you shine through. It's powerful. It's powerful. So it's been such a joy. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking that a part of, we're describing like there can be this joy and this magic, and there can be this like, whew, being human can be so painful at times. And um, I'm thinking about, oh, no, this is what I do. I always lose my train of thought. um, all right, let me take a minute.
Yeah. I'll
Hmm.
play like background music for you. Do, do,
Right?
do, do, do,
Um,
do.
I it's totally gone, Bonnie. So
That's cool.
where do we
That
want to go from
means
here?
it wants to be brought up in part two,
Right?
and everything is perfect. And if
Mm,
it comes back, we'll invite it back in. Yeah.
yeah.
There's one thing that is coming in around that, like that sense of safety.
Mhm,
And I think what's really been so powerful is like, especially for I know many of the people in our worlds and our communities like are very very driven, very like go, 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 very like we've got all the degrees, we've done all the things, we've checked all the boxes. And how so much of that unlearning has been rooted in kind of unlearning that hustle culture conditioning.
Yeah.
And we can talk about a strategy connecting with our intuition all day. We can develop a roadmap, just like business planning. Like we can talk about it all day.
Mhm.
But until we cultivate that deep safety in our nervous system, that deep safety with our protector parts, and that deep safety within our internal being,
Yeah.
um, we can think about it all day, but the magic, which is power and magic combined, new word,
Amazing. I like that. The pageant.
the magic,
Mhm.
is when we get to embody it, when we get to live it, and cultivating that safety is such a essential part of that.
Yeah.
And it's been such a joy being here with you. I need that safety as well, because then when we create that safety, while we might be, say, like focusing on a relationship with a parent or an area around so like a new project that we're bringing into the world through work, when we get to the undercurrent of the safety in our nervous system to bring that into being, we create ripple effects to every other area of our life. And it's
Yeah.
amazing. It's really amazing. And safety comes when we're feeling really joyful, because when we're in a playful state, we're looking at Maslow's hierarchy of needs without nerding out too much.
Mhm.
Need to be able to have a deep sense of safety to be in that state of play. So there's a really wonderful, like, the frequency of play, the frequency of joy
Yeah.
is very transformative, very healing, and it has a really powerful amplifier to our nervous system safety. It's really cool.
Yes, I love that. And yeah, that's what I was gonna say was where, for me especially, um I don't remember. People are like, "Oh, remember that joy of being a child." And I'm like, "No, I was like extremely anxious and shy and felt scared all the time as a child." And so it
Totally.
hasn't been like necessarily for me reconnecting to the joy of childhood. It's been like that
Yeah.
joy was buried from a really young age. And how do I remember and excavate that, from very deep. And so that I think has been like there was such a lack of safety with play and with joy, that so much of it was us like quietly sitting with something inside of me that might that needed a lot of slowness. and um
Mm,
and I think that's, I've had clients tell me, like, when we're doing parts work, like, am I getting it right? If it's like hard to not feel like you're performing, like, am I doing therapy right? And so
totally.
that's another thing I love about our relationship. I remember when we first met, it was a virtual coffee, and I was like,
Yeah,
felt that spark of like, okay, like we have a connection, that's soul
totally.
remembering. And yeah, I know
Oh,
you
yeah.
said you felt it too.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, we are sisters in many, many lifetimes.
Yeah. And then we just made up what we wanted to do. I'm like, this feels really, really safe. I've tried lots of different types of work and this feels safe. So will you help
Mhm.
me do this like embodiment um, and intuition journey? And it's all combined, but how beautiful is that we just got to make it up.
Totally. We get to
Mhm.
co-create life
Yeah.
together with a
Mhm.
lot of sacred intention, a lot of deep safety, and we
Yeah.
get to we get to be with each step of the journey.
Mhm.
Absolutely. It's really
Yeah.
powerful. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful for you.
Yeah, me too. Thank you so much for helping me feel safer in the world.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for being my sister in this lifetime. Again, it's really amazing reconnecting in this lifetime. I know we've connected many, many lifetimes. Yeah.
Mhm.
And many
Yeah.
more. Yeah.
Was there
I want
anything
to
else you wanna share about where people can find you? You
Oh,
said intuitive.
yeah, yeah. Intuitivebynature.com
Mhm.
is the website. I'm also on Instagram at intuitive underscore by underscore nature. And those are ways you can set up like a discovery chat and we can go from there. Yeah, I'm also the person behind Instagram, so you can shoot me a message there and it's actually me. I'll respond. Maybe not
Amazing.
immediately, but I'll respond.
Mhm. And you have such great content about the intuitive research you've done and your joyful big hug medicine, big magic, big hugs, bubble guns. I just feel like if we each have our own frequency, yours has so much delight to it. And I'm so grateful to
Yeah.
be.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. There's also, I can't believe I didn't say this first. There's a season of Intuitive by Nature as a podcast. So
Mm,
it's Intuitive by Nature, wherever you find your podcast, and where we unpack the research findings. Celeste Page Sample and I talk about that. And season 2 is going to be coming soon. So take a look at
yay.
that. Yeah. Thank you so much, Diane. Thank you all those that are joining. Diane, I'm so, so grateful for you.
You too, Bonnie. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, have a great day.
All right, let's see if I can figure out how to pause this.
Sounds great. I'll do background music. Do, 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 do,
I
do,
really
do.
don't know how to pause it.
Okay. I'll do
I
some
think
dancing in the background too, so we've got it.
Thank you. Last time with Amber, oh, here we go. End stream. I left the studio and then she was just there alone. But this is the joy of learning, right? We're creating a
It really
safety to learn.
is. Everything
All
is
right.
figure outable.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.